Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. I'm sure many of you saw this headline, which was widely circulated on social media yesterday. It comes from Washington Reporter. Scoop: Kamala Harris likely to nominate Gary Gensler as Treasury Secretary if elected. Senate sources. Well, if that happens, I mean, talk about failing upward. My God, and that would just be a big old slap in the face to certainly every XRP holder on the damn planet, and certainly true, to be fair, everybody, broadly speaking, in the broader crypto community. But is this something that's actually going to happen? Well, to be clear here at the outset, technically, I mean, what was covered here, and including the headline of this piece here, it's not misleading. It's literally stating, hey, there are some sources that are claiming this is what's likely to happen. So if taken at face value, it's true. But is there any meat to the to the claim? Because otherwise, it's just a gossip piece, right? And it's fine to talk about that stuff if people are speculating. I'm not saying that shouldn't be covered. That's fine. Well, CoinDesk, they had a bit of beef with this, resulting in this brand new article from this afternoon titled, "About That Gary Gensler for Treasury Secretary Story." So is he actually going to fail upwards? Because my God, he is just, like, even if you support what Gary Gensler has been doing as chairman of the SEC, he has failed broadly at achieving what he has sought to achieve as it pertains to crypto, most specifically. Even if you wanted him to take a hammer to the entire crypto space, he's attempted to, but he has failed. I mean, obviously the most fantastic shining example of that is what happened in the SEC v. Ripple case. So anyway, I'm going to share with you exactly what is being speculated upon here and share some thoughts. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Just as a reminder, even if this ends up being something that happens, it's not going to harm. It's like it's going to hurt XRP. No matter what happens, no matter how high Gary Gensler goes, even if the Harris administration ends up being elected and they continue the anti-crypto crusade that was really pushed forward the last several years under the Biden administration, it's not going to change anything for XRP holders. And so there was this video clip that was shared by John Deaton's crypto law organization on social media platform X, and it was J.W. Verrett interviewing Ripple's chief legal officer, Stuart Alderati. And I actually mentioned this on my channel before, but I just thought, given the content here, it'd be worth a quick reminder, especially for anybody who may have missed this. But Stuart Alderati says, look, no matter what happens, even if the SEC appeals the remedies portion of the SEC v. Ripple case, it's not going to matter for us as XRP holders. It'll matter for Ripple. They'll have to put up with some more headaches, but it won't matter for the rest of us. And so this post shared from Crypto Law shared this clip in which Stuart Alderati was communicating that message. And the Crypto Law account here wrote the following: "The law of the land, XRP and secondary market transactions are not securities. The SEC's ability to appeal this status, non-existent. And so it doesn't matter what happens. And so thankfully for us, no matter what happens, even with this election, XRP's in the clear, period. But still, I do worry about the rest of my cryptocurrencies because I hold 42 different cryptocurrencies and they can all potentially be targets by the SEC. So let's get into this piece here. So I'm actually just going to run through what CoinDesk wrote about this because I think they did a pretty good job summarizing exactly what's going on here. But man, it's just, if this guy ends up as Treasury Secretary, which actually could happen, Gary Gensler, my God. Just, the universe is hilarious sometimes. Anyway, it reads as follows. Yesterday, a publication called the Washington Reporter released a bombshell story saying that Kamala Harris was likely to nominate Gary Gensler as Treasury Secretary if elected. Based on unnamed sources, the lead confidently ran, quote, "While publicly, Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler hasn't expressed desire to leave his current role, multiple senior Senate staffers are telling the Washington Reporter that if Vice President Kamala Harris wins in November, she plans to nominate Gensler as her Treasury Secretary. If true," and that's end quote, "if true, this would certainly be a big deal for the crypto industry and beyond. Gary Gensler is, let's just say it, universally disliked in crypto for the SEC's frequent aggressive enforcement actions, and for his unwillingness to be clear about what is and what isn't legally permissible when it comes to digital assets. But is the story true? Let's take a look at the evidence and how this story may have come about. It may be true that multiple senior Senate staffers believe Gensler could be Treasury Secretary in a Harris administration. Gensler is long believed to have coveted that job, and he would certainly be well qualified. He worked on Wall Street, Goldman Sachs. He's led both of the country's primary markets regulators, the SEC and Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, and he was a professor at MIT. So, and I'll just pause to note here, I mean, even as far back as, I don't know, maybe a year and a half to 2 years ago, I remember talking on my channel, just speculating, as many of us have been doing in this space, like, what is Gensler's end goal here? Because obviously, before he was SEC chair, he had a different tune about certain cryptocurrencies. Specifically, he claimed that there wasn't sufficient regulatory clarity for XRP. And then, of course, he becomes SEC chair. There's an ongoing lawsuit. And then suddenly he thinks that everything's very clear. And so it's very obvious that he wasn't being intellectually honest there. But then for him to change his, stated beliefs, do a complete 180 in such a short period of time, as soon as he takes over the role, like the question was, what's the end game here? And I speculated, along with many others, at the time on this channel, that maybe he is going to be seeking this exact position, Treasury Secretary. And so the fact that this is still being discussed isn't surprising, especially when we have an election coming up here. And so even though this is rumor, and it's certainly fair to state like that is what it is, it actually could happen, though. And it would be disgusting, but it actually could happen here. Anyway, Peace continues. He's a well-rounded, experienced economic public servant. Why wouldn't he be considered as a Treasury Secretary candidate? Putting aside that Harris needs to win the presidency, a Senate majority, and persuade both Democratic and Republican senators to support his nomination, it's certainly possible Gensler could get the job next year, though, according to most experts, that is unlikely. But the story is filled with red flags that any decent editor would immediately mark up with red ink. For example, quote, "Those rumors corroborate what top Republicans have also told the reporter on the record," end quote. Rumors don't corroborate anything. There's nothing close to a quote from someone close to the Harris camp. The likely in the headline all comes from those Senate staffers. And so, folks, I don't have an issue as long as they're accurately stating, and it's okay that they disagree regarding the word corroborate. That's a fair point, honestly. But I also still have no issue with, people reporting what's happening in the rumor mill as long as it's highlighted as such. It's perfectly reasonable to speculate and say, hey, so totally fine with that. But these critiques, still, totally fair. Anyway, CoinDesk ignored the story, in quotes, because it didn't meet our standards. It contained no on-the-record reporting and nothing from the people who were said to be doing the thing it said they were doing, nominating Gensler. Moreover, many well-placed folks were immediately suspicious and dismissive. And I'll show you a couple of those now. So there's Caitlin Long, very famous in the world of crypto. She's the founder and CEO of Custodia Bank, which of course is a crypto-first bank. And she wrote, okay, multiple Dems contacted me to say the Gensler as Treasury Secretary rumor is false. One thinks the source of the rumor is Gensler himself. Thinks he planted it just to mess with all this. That sounds about right, to be honest. Well, that would be something. I mean, I'm somewhat skeptical of that, but that would be something. Anyway, Peace continues. So what is this Washington Reporter? It looks and appears like a venerable publication, but read the website a little and you find that it was started by Republican political operatives, and its stated objective is this, quote, "We cover stories pushed by interested parties, including lobbyists or operatives with clients, as long as the context is true, fair, and insightful," end quote. And that's on the website. Whatever that means in plain English, it's clear that the Washington Reporter isn't journalism. The Gensler for Treasury story was certainly compelling, though, and the thing about compelling stories is that they have a way of becoming true even when there's no truth to them. For instance, The Block, which does solid work daily, picked up the thread and ran a straight Gensler is being considered for Treasury Secretary headline. And so, folks, that's the type of headline that I was referencing earlier in the video. So some people kind of ran with this a little bit further than they should have. Anyway, other well-known reporters tweeted about it, including Unchained's Laura Shin. Whatever the merits, the story was rapidly becoming true in the retelling. So who benefits from all this? Well, last week, crypto-friendly Democrats made a concerted push to say they could be trusted on crypto policy. Senate Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrat New York, promised to pass a crypto bill through the Senate before the end of the year. It looked like Democrats who support crypto might have a home in November. But what's the one thing that might stop these crypto people from voting Democrat? Nominating Gary Gensler as Treasury Secretary. Just the sort of rumor a political operative might want to spread. And so take it for what it's worth. And the critique about it not being straight up journalism, totally fair. I don't mind that it's covered. I don't mind if hearsay is covered as long as it's indicated that it's hearsay. That's fine. But that's indeed all that this is to this point. So could this come to pass? Yeah. Is there a reason to believe that there's any meat to this? Is there actually something to this? Not really. Which is why I told you at the outset. I mean, this is nothing but something straight out of the rumor mill. So we'll see what happens here. But my God, that would be an absolute slap in the face. Speaking of slaps in the face, take a look at this. Okay, so here's the 2024 Democratic Party platform. And there's not a single mention of crypto. So this was just published the other day. And here you have Ryan Sean Adams. He had some perspective here which resonated with me, so I thought I'd share this with you. Yesterday afternoon, he wrote, the 92-page Democratic Party platform document was released today outlining the Kamala Harris agenda. Not a single mention of crypto. Not even a word. After years of hostility. No way to spin it. This feels like spit on the face. I'm actually shocked. Crypto has never been more politically active. We've shown Democrats the votes. We've shown them the money. Educated them on policy. Yet they doubled down on anti-crypto. The anti-crypto army, with its tentacles in the administrative state, is more powerful and determined than I thought. Yeah, and it's amazing to see this. Like, there is no anti-crypto voting bloc. It's so astonishing to me that they just, because it speaks to who they are as people, I guess, you know, and what their beliefs are. I'm pretty grossed out by it. And so look, I'm not going to tell you how to vote. You do whatever the hell you want. This isn't a political channel. I only speak about anything politically related insofar as it has something to do with, the broader economy, finance, or in this case, specifically crypto. But man, it's very obvious that if you vote that particular way, just understand that it is against your own best interest, your own financial interest as it pertains to crypto. That is obvious. Not even a single mention in the official party platform here. Nothing. Not a single freaking word. Completely absurd. Then a separate post he noted, even AI got a section. And he shared the screen grab. Artificial intelligence has a section. Nothing about crypto. Not a damn thing. Isn't that kind of telling? And then we're just supposed to take them at their word when they pay lip service to us, and as they started doing in May, claiming that hey, we're reaching out, we're pro crypto, so and so. No. Show me why should I actually believe? Because I don't. I absolutely do not. So that's why I say, should this come to pass, and it's certainly possible, Harris certainly could win. I just don't think this is going to be good for us in the world of crypto. It very clearly will not be. And oh my God, if I have to put up with more of Gary Gensler, dear sweet baby Jesus. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say. Right? That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.